Okay, hi everyone. So I finally watched Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and yeah, I didn't like it much. Really wanted to enjoy it. As I was watching it, I was leaning towards a 1 out of 10 for me. I absolutely hated it. For me, it was like a TV show on that level of dialogue, characters, story, in my opinion. And it had all the props, like it had so many references to Star Wars. At least it was original compared to The Force Awakens, but so many little references. There's a part where a door closes and it's got the same, and I was like, I recognize that, and I was like, that's the door that closes right after, spoiler alert, in the original Star Wars, Vader kills Obi-Wan, or strikes him down and he disappears, which is really cool. And it had those little beep, like little black little car thing. It had so many little things. The music I hated. Michael Giacchino, I think, is actually can be quite good. He did. I'm pretty sure he did the music for it. He did Inside Out. That's got some really beautiful music. The Incredibles is really good. Action. I mean, I haven't seen it in a while, but from what I remember, it's good. But it had there was a theme for Rogue One, but I don't remember it. I would probably recognize it, but it was very plain in my opinion. And it would have a lot of references to the Star Wars themes, but only partial. It would play like the first few notes, remind you of it, and then go into something else. Like, it's interesting at the start. They didn't have the ba 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 but they kind of had some opening scenes, and then kind of a ba 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 ba. So the theme goes something like that, and it was like referred to Star Wars, but just was really nowhere near as good. This is a really common theme I find with bad movies or movies I don't like. They'll remind you of great movies, but they'll just pale in comparison, and it really hurts them. Just to skip to the chase though, the final third act, or whatever, the final act is quite redeeming. So for me, I'd overall maybe give it like a 4 out of 10. That's the number I came up with. A little bit better than The Force Awakens, in my opinion. I didn't like The Force Awakens much. Just because of the action. The action's very good. Some of the flying stuff with the ships is really cool, but the reason it's cool isn't because it's Star Wars. It isn't because it's X-Wings and TIE Fighters and all my favorite things. It's because it's spaceships flying around shooting each other. That's cool, especially if it's filmed well, if there's a bit of story. And I guess we kind of care about what's going on, but really I just wanted the action. And I think that the way it's filmed, some of it is actually very, very cool. There were some shots that were incredible. Just seeing something shoot and then fly and then explodes and then the ship flies through and then it's panning. And, I don't like too much crazy camera movement. You want it to be kind of smooth and show things in a natural kind of way. I really like the opening shot of episode 3. I think is quite cool and impressive. That one really kind of goes for quite a while. I think George Lucas as a director, in terms of cinematography, is underrated. The way I get the impression he storyboards things. He really thinks them out, and I don't think there's enough of that these days. It feels like they're just like, yeah, just film everything. We'll just, lots of special effects later. Just cut, 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 cut. Money shot on this character, close up on this, and everything's kind of separate. There's no integration between characters and story. That I'm generalizing, but some of that is cool. The stuff with the again, it's got the AT-ATs or whatever they're called, or something like similar to them. I liked the location of where that place is. That it's kind of a palm. It's like there's palm trees. It's like a beach. I think that's very cool because we haven't seen something like that in any Star Wars movie that I can think of. That's what the original Star Wars movies had. There was like Tatooine, it's like a desert planet, ice planet Hoth, Endor is like forest. What's funny is all of these things exist on Earth. Earth is one planet and has all of these things, right? Oceans, in episode 2, there's a place with oceans. Naboo is kind of like beautiful, I don't know, greenery and fancy royal palaces. A pretty nice place. You've got a lava planet. Again, all of this exists on Earth. But anyway, yeah, I guess beaches hadn't been done, and seeing cool kind of futuristic machinery going in this place that looks tropical, and you associate that with, I guess, holidays and relaxation and peace, and so to have absolute war going on there was a nice juxtaposition. So yeah, I feel bad, but if I ever watched part of it again, I would just watch the action parts. Those parts I would consider seeing again. I hated the characters, or most of them. Jin Erso, for me, is just so plain. She's boring. She's depressed. I don't get it. I don't get why. You want characters that, like, I mean, I don't know. I've never been a fan of characters that are always smoking, just seem miserable. Like, I can't relate to them. And I'm just so happy. I'm just so upbeat, you know. No, but like, and they just drink. Anything remotely goes bad in their life, they just cut to drinking, and that's their way to solve problems. That's not a character I like. Anyway, Jin Erso, I guess, isn't doing that, but he's like, just seems unhappy. But like, rather than positive and like, let's do things, and like Sigourney Weaver, um, just random. She's in Alien and Aliens, Ripley. That character, she's in a very tough position, but she seems really strong. She's like, I'm gonna survive. I'm gonna take this situation. I'm gonna do what I can. Like, what's the point of crawling up into a little ball? Oh boy, my life sucks. Like, that's what Jyn Erso feels like to me. I don't think, other than Vader, I don't remember any of the other characters. So like, and I mean, I wanted to enjoy it. I wanted to get into it. I know that I've seen the other Star Wars movies more than once, but I find with movies, if you like them, if you really connect with them, you learn the characters' names even after the first viewing. And yeah, I can't remember. I know Forrest Whitaker is in it, and he's got like a lazy eye, but not making fun of him. But I don't know who he is. I don't even really get if he's good or bad. He seemed to help Jyn, so, but then he also seems to be kind of torturing that pilot guy. There's like a big weird monster that just looks so fake. It's just CGI. It's like slithering around and trying to get info from him. I don't understand. So I also don't get if that weird pilot guy, I think he's meant to be comic relief. He was meant to be funny. I don't know if he's good or bad. The robot's kind of cool. I didn't find him hilarious. He was mildly amusing. I think sometimes it's just the tone. If I don't relate to the characters, if I don't really find it that funny. There's that Asian guy who's blind and can just, keep saying, he has like a mantra, like I am one with the force is with me. I'm one with the force is with me. Something like that. It gets super annoying. He just keeps saying it again and again and again and again and again, and it's annoying. I don't think it helps them escape the prison. Maybe it does, but there's this moment where it's just so dramatic, and he says it, and he manages to walk and not get shot. And I didn't buy it. To me, that's not what the Force is about. That's not what Star Wars is about. I'm much more into the, not just completely going against like the rules of physics and reality. Like, you're out in the open, someone can shoot you, but more like using intuition and being able to just time things, and a bit like a spider sense, something like that. Like with Luke, when Obi-Wan says, use the Force, like put away the equipment and just sense. That's kind of profound. I think everyone can feel that. Sometimes in life, yeah, you want to have just that moment of you just feel when to do it. But no, he's just saying a mantra to walking out in the middle of a battlefield. It doesn't get shot at all. I'm not buying it. There were some other things I found annoying. I think this generally fits with didn't like the characters. Like, Jyn Erso, I think, is like a criminal or something, a thief. Like, I don't get, why is that so cool? Like, why is that, I don't know. It's as if you've had a rough upbringing, it's automatically an excuse. Or, I don't know. It doesn't seem very cool to me. And I feel like there's parts, I can't remember, but where she sort of points a gun at other people, or that, like, her and the other main guy, like, don't get along, and I just think it feels really cliched. Like, I prefer in the original Star Wars the way, like, Leia isn't completely antagonistic, but she's like bossy. She's annoying to, like, Han Solo's like, why did we even save this woman? Like, she's just annoying. But she's kind of just like taking charge of, like, why did you have a plan or what? And he's like, well, we just saved you. And of course, Luke's pretty diplomatic, I think, and nice and wanted to help. But it's a more interesting dynamic. Whereas this movie seems like just everyone's just unnecessarily complicated and negative to other people, and doesn't trust other people, and isn't trustworthy. None of them are really trustworthy. Like that guy, at some point, he's going to assassinate her father, and I was like, I felt completely in the dark. Like, why? I like, what? Whose side is he on? I think later I realized, I guess some people feel that her father turned to the dark side because he kind of tricks the bad guys. I guess the plan was, he figured they thought he was useful, but if, hang on, I gotta think about this. But yeah, if he fought them, they would kill him, and he thought that they'd still find a way to build the Death Star. So he figured he may as well act like he's playing along and sort of help them do it, but then put in a thing into the Death Star that would allow it to just blow up, like as what happens in Star Wars, the plans that R2-D2 gets. Anyway, so I guess some people in the rebellion don't know that, and so there's people are paying to kill him. That's what that guy was doing. But it just feels like, why not talk it out? Why not talk about it a bit? And I guess it's complicated, but I felt like I was in the dark, and I just wish characters would more just say, hey, look, we're on the same team. Look, listen, I've been paid to kill your father because we hate him, and I just thought it's a conflict of interest. And she could say, yeah, he's good. I don't think he would do that, and we could talk about it, you know? Why can't characters ever do that? It just never seems to happen. A few other random things I didn't really like. There's a guy, one of the bad guys. He's from The Dark Knight Rises, I think. In that one, he's really good. I really like The Dark Knight Rises, but so I mean, I think he's a good actor. But in Rogue One, he's just kind of angry. He just seems angry, and it's similar to The Force Awakens. I felt like there was some. I think it's Domhnall Gleeson or something. He just shouts at the screen, and he's just like frothing at the mouth. That's not a cool villain. I'm reminded of a bad guy from Breaking Bad. It's like some Mexican man, and he was always like really angry, you know, just really great. Like, that's not a good villain. A good villain is someone who is powerful, and preferably not, you know. There's the saying, the bark is worse than the bite. You want someone whose bite is way worse than their bark. You want someone who may in fact be very quiet, but does very disturbing things. Or like the Joker, who jokes around all the time, but then kills people and sets up really devious kind of plots. Or Bane, who's very calm and collected, but is just a complete tank, a complete boss, just like taking over everything. In fact, it's ironic, that guy's character in The Dark Knight Rises, he kind of says, I have money, I'm in control of this situation. But it says, do you feel in charge? It seems kind of similar, like it's like the calm, collected, actual supervillain versus just the, oh, I'm angry and I'm a bad guy. And Darth Vader's a cool bad guy. I don't like him in this though. I just think his presence is unnecessary. They're trying to, like, worship to him like he's such a great screen character. The part where he's in the corridor near the end, it's kind of cool, kind of dark, but like I wouldn't mind mashing that up with the Luke Skywalker, the part where Luke Skywalker kind of says, I believe there's still good in you, just killing people. It's very inconsistent. Like, I'm feeling like the morality in a lot of movies is really messed up. Completely inconsistent. I also think it's kind of cool that they're trying to tie it up with the original Star Wars, but I don't think it adds anything. I much prefer the mystery of the original Star Wars, where it just throws you in the middle. It's just this ship that's like, whoa, that's really cool, but it's like seems to be shooting and getting shot at, and then this huge epic ship that just takes ages to cross. It's like, wow, and you're like, what's going on? And then realizing that the little ship is kind of like the good guys, and they're getting smashed, and then there's this weird lady with funny buns of hair, and these robots, and they finally escape, and she gets taken by this big guy in black. It's all just mysterious. So having the backstory, I don't really like the backstory they did. Parts of it are interesting. I didn't like Leia's appearance at the end. It looked weird. It looked fake. And also Grand Moff Tarkin looked weird to me as well. Like, that's the thing. You want the movie to stand on its 2 feet. Own 2 feet. So if one of the highlights is Darth Vader, and another part is like a big battle that reminds me of, that's similar to Return of the Jedi. Pretty cool. Parts of it are actually pretty cool, I think. But it doesn't have its own original ships. It's just all the same cool stuff from the original trilogy. Parts of that were cool though, like when they they actually fly one Star Destroyer or whatever. I don't know all the terms. I love the movies, but I don't know every little bit. But they're flying it into like another one that it kind of hits, and then that's cool. See, I wish there were more things that would like really let these kind of big epic space battles play out where you can actually follow what's going on. Thought some of that was well done, or like you'll see a bit of flying here and then it'll cut to another character in the background. You can still see this kind of connects between the different elements. It was also kind of interesting, had some people, I don't know if they're related to Admiral Akbar, but the same kind of species. I don't know what species that is. And is it Mon Mothma or whatever, that lady who just seems very uptight, very posh. But it's like they just get people that can do good impersonations of these people. Like, we don't need, like, just create a good story and good, interesting characters. It's this weird thing of like creating, recreating your childhood by getting all the. It reminds me, just this is a weird reference, but the Nerdist podcast is I used to listen to quite a bit, and they had an episode with the Muppets. I thought that would be awesome, and I just remember I didn't enjoy it much. Whoever the guy was, because I realized it's not the original Muppets. It's not the people who did the original voices. Whoever this guy is, he was very good at the voices, but I didn't find him funny. I didn't find he had personality. I didn't find he had those other things. And that's what a lot of these, I don't know, kind of reboots and new movies seem to be doing. They're trying to recreate other things. So people are doing good impersonations, but not getting the heart. And even the movie itself, you could see, is a bit like that. They're spot on with the references, with the clothes, like the costumes. Although, again, I don't know if I said this for The Force Awakens for another review, but their costumes look like they've worn it once. A lot of them, like they've just been ironed by their mum, and just brand new, like a new school uniform. I'm talking about the bad guys in particular. It just, it doesn't. It looks like it's got all the right colors and the Death Star. Wait, there is a Death Star. Wait, yeah, those guys with the weird, funny shaped black hats is a bit like a bird or something, and all the buttons they press, and it's like, yes, they perfectly imitated Star Wars with none of the magic, none of the originality. That's what I think. So yeah, I hated it. I would rewatch the action bits at the end, which were highly redeeming. I was strongly leaning towards 1 out of 10. So for it to come back to 4 out of 10 means the ending was pretty decent. But yeah, hate the characters. Jinder Erso, God, she's just so miserable. Like, does she even smile once in the movie? Like, maybe. And the story with her father's kind of tragic a little bit, but I don't know. Alright, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for watching. Bye.